Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jasodanandana Vraja Janarandana Jasodanandana Vraja Janarandana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jasodanandana Vraja Janarandana Jasodanandana Vraja Janarandana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vijubhat Paramamsa Parivraja Gacharya Ashvatara Sata Sri Srimati Vangles et Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vijubhat Paramamsa Parivraja Gacharya Ashvatara Sata Sri Srimati Vangles Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम सिको श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवन की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय श्रीमती तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन की जय श्री श्री गौनिताई की जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ सुभद्रा बलदेव की जय गौर प्रेमानंदी all glories to the Samadhivatis, all glories to the Samadhivatis, all glories to the Samadhivatis, all glories to Sri Guru Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Tirobhav Titi Maho Mahotsav Ki Jai. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastabhutade Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvesesha Sunyavadi Paschataridatarine. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Skanda, 27th chapter, entitled Attack by Chandavega on the city of King Puranjana, sloka number 18. And today is also the disappearance day of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. So we shall also speak a little bit about Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Saha Eva Puryam Madhubuk Panchaleshu Swaparshadahi Upanitam Balim Grinnan Stri Jitaha Na Avidat Bhayam. Sri Sri Gaurnitai ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai, Sri Sri Jagannath Subhadra Baladev ki jai. Saiva Puryam Madhubuk Panchaleshu Saparshadahi Upanitam Balim Grinnan Sri Jito Navidat Bhayam. Saiva Puryam Madhubuk Panchaleshu Saparshadahi Upanitam Balim Grinnan Sri Jito Navidat Bhayam. Saiva Puryam Madhubuk Panchaleshu Saparshadai Upanitam Balim Grinnan Sri Jito Navidat Bhayam. Parshadai. Any Vaishnavis? Saha, he, Eva, certainly, Puryam, within the city, Madhubuk, enjoying sex life, Panchaleshu, in the kingdom of Panchala, 5 sense objects, Swaparshadahi, along with his followers, Upanitam, brought Balim, taxes, Grinnan, accepting, Stri Jitaha, conquered by women, Na, did not, Avidat, understand, Bhayam, fear of death. Translation. King Puranjana collected taxes in the city known as Panchala, and thus was able to engage in sexual indulgence. Being completely under the control of women, he could not understand that his life was passing away and that he was reaching the point of death. Please repeat. King Puranjana collected taxes in the city known as Panchala, and thus was able to engage in sexual indulgence. Being completely under the control of women, He could not understand that his life was passing away and that he was reaching the point of death. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Government men, including kings, presidents, secretaries, and ministers, are in a position to utilize taxes collected from the citizens for sense gratification. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that in this Kali Yuga, government men, Rajanyas, and those connected with the government, as well as exalted government ministers, secretaries, and presidents, will all simply collect taxes for sense gratification. The government is top-heavy, and without increasing taxes, the government cannot maintain itself. When taxes are collected, they are utilized for the sense gratification of the government officials. Such irresponsible politicians forget that there is a time when death will come to take away all their sense gratification. Some of them are convinced that after life everything is finished. This atheistic theory was conceived long ago by a philosopher called Charvaka. Charvaka recommended that man should live very opulently by either begging, borrowing, or stealing. He also maintained that one should not be afraid of death, the next life, the past life, or an impious life, because after the body is burned to ashes, everything is finished. This is the philosophy of those who are too much materially addicted. Such philosophizing will not save one from the danger of death, nor will it save one from an abominable afterlife. Om Jnana Timurandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitanskya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrubhyaskya Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Srimad Bhagavatam describes the teachings of Narada Muni here to King Prachinabarishat, and in allegory Narada Muni is teaching to the king who is addicted to fruitive activities, somewhat materialistic life, although pious, is a pious king, but not thinking of the ultimate destination, which is the Vaikuntha, beyond this world. He is attached to this world. So in this way, Narada Muni is relating to him the story of King Puranjana. It has been described earlier how King Puranjana finally comes back to his city, and in association with his wife, he is trying to enjoy his life at the best as possible. In this chapter, Chandavega is attacking the city. Chandavega means time. The time is divided, according to Vedic scriptures, in many different elements. And here the division is called the days and nights. 360 days, 360 nights, 1 year. Gradually, the time is passing in this way, and that is only the effect of the time passing is that our duration of life decreases every moment. From the time of birth, time is affecting our lifetime. If we are destined to live, say 50 years, then gradually, these 50 years gradually will be eroded, and then we shall have to confront the ultimate time factor, which is called death. Kala Mrityu. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am that Mrityu, which is killing everyone. So that is the ultimate factor which nobody can overcome. You may be very rich, very intelligent, very powerful, but you cannot have any influence on the time factor. Whatever time is destined for you, that you will have to undergo, and then you will have to face death. And after death, who knows what's going to be your next destination? That will be calculated according to your past karma. So that is a philosophy from the Vedic scriptures. But those who are materialistic, who have not studied the Vedic scriptures, who do not believe in the science of the soul, the science of God, who have not approached a spiritual master, who have not inquired about the absolute truth. In other words, those who are living on a day-to-day basis simply for the satisfaction of their senses. They have to meet the fate of King Puranjana, who is such a materialistic person according to this allegorical description. King Puranjana is enjoying to the best of his capacity and do not care for the passing time. In this way, he is going to meet his death. And whatever he has done in his life, that will be simply a waste of time, and he will have to meet the consequences in his next life. So there are many thinkers, intellectuals, philosophers who also are atheistic in their ideas. They have propagated materialistic ideas, and this is very much prominent. Especially in the age of Kali, the atheistic philosophies are very prominent. So one should be very careful about listening to different philosophers, talkers, and who are speaking freely about materialistic life, how to enjoy life to the best of your capacity. Keeping peace of mind, don't worry, everything is okay. You just enjoy your life at the utmost. In this way, your life will be successful. They are not talking about death. They are not talking about the afterlife, from where you are coming, where you are going, what the ultimate goal of life is. They are not talking about this. They are simply talking about how to enjoy maximum. So, roughly, if we consider all the philosophers, either in India or in Europe, in Greece, in Rome, the ancient Roman civilization or the ancient Greek civilization, we find that there are two classes. One class admits that there is a superior truth, eternal truth, that is the source of this material world. Just like there is a story, allegory in the philosophy of Plato. He has written a book called The Republic. In this book, he has described that we are all living in a room, but that room is very dark. We cannot see anything. And in one end of the room, there is a screen. Just like go to a cinema house, everything is dark, and there's a screen showing the movie. So we are all like this, all the human beings and everybody living in this material world. We are in this room, and there is, on the wall, we see some display. Something is displayed on the wall. So we are trying to understand what is the display, what is the meaning, and so on. But we are not able to understand what is being displayed on the wall. Something is there, but we don't understand properly. So we are just trying to find out. And one intelligent person among all the people there assembled in this room, he is looking everywhere. And he is finding on the ceiling some hole. There's a hole in the ceiling. And from that hole, a light is coming. And that light, that beam of light, goes on the screen. So whatever is displayed on the screen takes its origin from that upper ceiling, and that goes outside the room. The origin is not from this room. It is from beyond the room. So that is very nice anecdote or analogy given by Plato, the philosopher, disciple of Socrates. They belong to the idealist group of philosophers. And they have a clue. They understand that the material world is not all in all. It takes its origin from a superior world. Even though we may not understand exactly what is beyond this world, but it is a fact that this material world is not coming out of itself. It is a projection, it is a creation from a superior intelligence. So that is a very nice idea. In the Back to Godhead magazine, I think the 1971, it had been written by Hayagriva on the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. You print this article, the myth of the caveman. We are cavemen. The myth of the caveman means to try to understand what is beyond the cave. So that is, but there are other types of philosophers which are maybe more in numbers, who do not believe that there is anything beyond this material world, and what we have to do in this world, simply enjoy to the best of your capacity. There is nothing else to be done. So among these philosophers, Epicurus, you have Epicurism, his philosophy is called Epicurism. That is simply a philosophy which is meant simply to try to enjoy the best as possible. In this connection, there is one story that two friends in the early morning, they meet together. And one friend tells to the other that please come with me. We'll go to this garden, just like public garden, Nampali. Let us go to public garden early morning. So both of them are going there and they see, oh, the garden is so beautiful. All the flowers are blooming. Everything is very fresh. There's a wonderful fragrance in the air. Some cool breeze is running through. Oh, everything is so wonderful. So they come out of the garden and come back to their houses. And in the evening, the same friend again meets his other friend together, and he is telling again the same. Let us go back to that garden. Evening time, let us go. So again, they go to the same garden and they see, oh, everything is different. The flowers are come down and there's dirt everywhere and the water is not clean. And so this completely different garden is completely fallen down from its original glory. It is not palatable, not enjoyable like in the morning garden. So they are considering, what is that? How is it? And the friend is telling the other friend, see, now you understand? You understand that we have, time is passing, and as time is passing, everything is gradually deteriorating. So what we have to do, as early as possible, we have to enjoy maximum. If you delay, if you are not careful about that, you will be overcome by time, then your life will be wasted. So at the earliest, try to enjoy maximum. It's like this, a morning garden, enjoying the morning garden. Otherwise it will be too late. That is a lesson we take from this story. Many thinkers, intellectuals, they have that idea. Let us enjoy as long as we are able to do it. Otherwise, just like Puranjana is also enjoying maximum, but he cannot overcome the influence of time and ultimately death. Death is there for everyone. And what is beyond death, nobody knows. But the Vedic scriptures, they clearly indicate that beyond death, there is life. The soul never dies. And the soul is simply taking bodies one after another according to their past activities. So that is the lesson we have to derive. That because the time factor is so invincible, we have to be careful about fixing our mind, intelligence on the ultimate goal of life from the very beginning. And we should not divert our mind from this ultimate goal. In this way, we shall have a successful life and achieve the ultimate destination after that. So here, King Puranjana is not understanding the spiritual goal of life. He is addicted to material enjoyment, and he is taking taxes, he's trying to gather as much as possible taxes for his own enjoyment. Sri Prabhupada comments in the purport that this is the symptom of Kali Yuga. Srimad Bhagavatam describe the symptoms of Kali Yuga. And one of the symptoms is that the rulers, the politicians, those who are ruling the country, they will take maximum advantage of their position and collect maximum taxes from the citizens and spend that money for their own enjoyment. That is a symptom of Kali Yuga. Actually, according to a Vedic system, the king can take 1/5 of the wealth of the citizens. 1/5 means, 1/6. 1/6 means about 16% or something like that of the wealth of the citizens, and that will be for welfare, general welfare of the citizens. Those who are impoverished, the elderly persons, the children, for their material and spiritual welfare. So he can levy tax in this way for the welfare of others. That is not for his own, but for public distribution. But in Kali Yuga, we see that according to Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is happening everywhere, that the money collected as taxes is being misused, and that is called corruption. So corruption is there at all levels. Srila Prabhupada took note of, not only in India, Prabhupada, when he went to America, then he saw there also that the American president is sometimes being elected and sometimes being cast away, thrown away because of his corrupt practices. So that is everywhere in this way. So King Puranjana is guilty of the same symptom, and Narada Muni in this way, he will describe how he has to pay for that. He has to become a victim of his own activities. So I would like to next speak a few words about His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Today is his disappearance day. Actually, the disappearance day was on the 1st of January 1937. It was early morning, 5:20 in the morning. And that was the ultimate Leela of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So, His Grace Rupavilas Prabhu has written a very beautiful book entitled A Ray of Vishnu. He also wrote another book called The Seventh Goswami on Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and this book, A Ray of Vishnu, and on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. Why A Ray of Vishnu? He has been accepted in this manner as a Shakti-avesha avatar. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam explains that anyone who is especially powerful Acharya, who is preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the previous Acharyas very powerfully, is considered to be a Shakti-avesha avatar of the Lord. So therefore, a ray of Vishnu is appropriate to describe Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. I am not qualified to say anything about him, and it would take a long time to try to explain even a small portion of his glories. This is one book, and His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Swami has written a 3-volume, very big book in 3 volumes entitled Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhav. So if you have opportunity to have these books, you may kindly read them carefully, and you will have the advantage of associating with the ray of Vishnu, which is incomparable. So as one disciple asked from Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Maharaj, that we would like to know about your Guru Maharaj. Can you describe your Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? And Srila Prabhupada, he said simply, oh, he was a Vaikuntha man. What can I say? He was a Vaikuntha man. That is a description in short by Srila Prabhupada. So what can I say? Vaikuntha man means a person who is endowed with a special mercy of Lord Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and who has extraordinary qualities, not from this world. So that is, today we are very fortunate to celebrate. Later on there will be arti ceremony and further glorification. But I would like to say a few words, and taking advantage of this book. Srila Prabhupada, on many occasions, he also spoke more at length about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati on the occasion of his appearance or disappearance. And in many of his letters, he also mentioned how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had given to him, that is to Srila Prabhupada, the mission to be accomplished. In 1922, for the first time, Srila Prabhupada met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in Calcutta. At that time, Srila Prabhupada was a young grihastha, and he was taken by his friend to meet this Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he told Srila Prabhupada that you are a very educated person, well educated, so why don't you preach the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the English-speaking countries? That would be very good of you if you can do that. So Srila Prabhupada was impressed by this advice, and he kept in his mind, and from that time onwards, he remembered this advice. He was not a disciple, but he was impressed by seeing and hearing Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Actually, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was very impressive in his delivery, in his speech. He was not speaking like ordinary person. Even those great scholars coming from England or from America, some of them had personal interview with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And at the beginning, they were thinking, yeah, he's a Pandit, he's a Hindu Pandit. I'm a Christian missionary, or I'm a Christian professor. So anyway, I can speak to him, let us have some conversation and see what he has to say. At the beginning, they don't believe in a Hindu or whatever Vaishnava philosophy. They have no such belief. Listening to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, how he is speaking better than them. His English language was so refined. They were so impressed by his delivery and by his profound understanding of the Vaishnava or Indian philosophy. They were impressed, and when after conversation they were maybe not 100% convinced, but at least 50% convinced that this person is very genuine, and they have full respect for him. So that is the impression that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was giving to all those who came in contact with him. So in 1933, Srila Prabhupada met again his Guru Maharaj in Allahabad. At that time, he took first and second Diksha and received the name of Abhay Charan. No. I just forgot. Anyway, Abhay Charan was at the beginning given by his parents. Then Bhaktivedanta was given to him by some of his god brothers in recognition of his preaching activities, especially writing commentaries on the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhaktivedanta in this way was given to him as an honorific title. I forgot the name he was given by his Guru Maharaj. Anyway, it must be written in the book, but we don't have sufficient time. I have selected some passages from this book so that we can have some idea about the way Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was talking or writing. He was aware that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is not just for India, it is for the whole world. He had that firm conviction and he wanted to preach all over the world. He sent 3 of his disciples abroad to England and Germany to establish Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. So these 3 disciples went, I think, the year 1933 or so. And then they come back after some time, but they were not so successful. They could not make a deep impact in their preaching activities there. It is only Srila Prabhupada who could do this. Actually, I can mention how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati knew very well the glories of his disciple, Srila Prabhupada. He knew very well. There was in Mayapur, I think in 1933 or so, there was a circumambulation of the Dham, Mayapur, Navadvip Dham. And then after the Dham circumambulation, Parikrama, all the disciples gathered and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati gave a lecture to all of them. In the midst of his lecture, he said that the next step in our mission is to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya to the Western world. And this is what we want to do next in our mission. And he looked at all his disciples gathered in front of him, many hundreds of them, and all the sannyasis were in the front line. And he looked at them like this. Then he said, but unfortunately, I don't see anybody capable of doing so. Then he saw on the left side, Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Maharaj, was sitting there in a corner. And then, by good fortune, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati saw Srila Prabhupada. Then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, no. One will be able to do that. One among my disciples will be able to do that. So that was his prediction. And in this way, by the blessing of his Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada was able to, after many years, but Prabhupada was always telling, I'm never alone, I'm not alone. I am always accompanied by my Guru Maharaj. There is no extraordinary. I have not done anything special. I have not done anything on my own. Everything that is being done, the successful mission, is only with the blessings of my Guru Maharaj. So anyway, I've chosen some passage from this book showing the preaching activity of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We take on the December 23rd, 1936, that is, 8 days before entering the eternal pastimes of the Lord, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur made the following remarks. He is talking to his disciples. That is his lecture. I have given anxiety to many people as I have been compelled to speak genuinely truthful words, and as I have told people to worship Hare without any hypocrisy. There are possibly many people who even consider me to be an enemy, so that they may become eager to perform the sincere service of Sri Krishna, freed from other desires and deceitfulness. I have given various types of anxieties to numerous people. One day or another, they will certainly be able to understand this. With great enthusiasm, preach the words of Sri Rupa Raghunath to everyone. He is giving instruction to his disciples. You preach the Rupa Goswami words to everyone. Our ultimately desirable object is to become the dust at the lotus feet of the followers of Sri Rupa. All of you remain united in allegiance to the Ashraya Vigraha, spiritual master, in order to satisfy the senses of the transcendental entity of non-dual knowledge. Everyone, with the sole view of worshipping Hare, will carry on life in this temporary, two-day material existence in any way possible. Do not give up the worship of Hare, even amidst hundreds of dangers, hundreds of insults, or hundreds of persecutions. Do not become unenthusiastic upon seeing that the majority of people in this world are not accepting the message of Krishna's sincere worship. Never give up the audition and glorification of the topics of Krishna. They are your own personal worship and your very all and all. Being humble like a blade of grass and patient like a tree, constantly glorify Hare. We are nurturing a desire to dedicate this good-for-nothing body in the Sankirtan sacrifice of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and his associates. We are not at all desirous of any heroism, intuitive actions, or religion, but our real condition is to be the dust at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Prabhu, birth after birth. This is our all and all. The line of Bhaktivinoda will never be closed. With even more enthusiasm, you should become engaged in preaching the desire of Bhaktivinoda's heart. Amongst you, there are many capable and accomplished men. We have no other desire at all. These are our only words. Adadanastrinam dantairinam yache puna punaha Srimad Rupa Padam Bhoja Dhuri Shyam Janma Janmani. Taking a blade of grass between my teeth, I fall down again and again, pray that I may become the dust at the feet of Srimad Rupa, birth after birth. There are various types of inconveniences while staying in this world, but there is no need for us to become extremely afflicted by these inconveniences or to try to dispel these inconveniences. While staying here, it is necessary for us to gain an introduction to what our eternal life will be and to what entity we will attain to after all these inconveniences have been removed. Here, it is compulsory to make decisions about all those objects which attract and repel us in various ways, both that which I want and do not want. We will be drawn by the attractions and repulsions of this place to the same degree as the amount of intervening distance there is between us and the lotus feet of Krishna. When we go beyond the attractions and repulsions of this world and are attracted by the transcendental name, then the topics about the mellow of service to Krishna can be understood. At the present time, the topics about Krishna are greatly startling and perplexing. Adventitious occurrences are obstructing our eternally needed realization. To eliminate these, everyone who holds the name of a human being is more or less consciously or unconsciously engaged in a struggle to enter into that eternally needed kingdom beyond all duality is our only necessity. In this world, we do not have any attachment or aversion towards anybody. All the arrangements of this world are momentary. That supreme desideratum is indispensably necessary for every single person. May all of you, with one aim and a single voice, attain the right of serving the original Astraya Vigraha. May the flow of thought of Sri Rupa's followers stream over the world. May we never, in any condition whatsoever, show aversion to the sacrifice of chanting the seven-tongue Sankirtan of Sri Krishna. If there is ever increasing attachment for this, perfection on all sides will be achieved. May all of you, by the earnest pursuance of Sri Rupa's followers, preach the words of Sri Rupa Raghunath in a fearless voice with supreme enthusiasm. This is the last instruction that Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati gave to his disciples 1 week before his passing away. Then I've chosen another, which is a concluding portion of the Vyas Puja address entitled Humbler Than a Blade of Grass, given in February 24, 1924, I think in Cuttack, Orissa. Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, "It is only when we have occasion to listen to the praises of the supreme object of all praises from the Master, and they react on our hearts, that we may learn about our utter worthlessness. Their profound humility and obedience teach us that it is never possible to approach God and His devotees except by such humble submission. If we learn to be arrogant, we would surely be deprived of the service of God and His devotees for good. There are persons who do not worship His devotees while worshiping God. Verily, they are arrogant persons and not worshippers of God. In the matter of worship, God and His devotees are to be equated. If the same devotion with which we worship God is not aroused in our hearts to the feet of His devotees, we are rendered perfectly worthless and will have lived in vain. All of them are instructing me about the highest service of God. May we be ever ready to sweep away from our hearts by the rough application of hundreds of pointed broomsticks the wicked design of desiring to be honored above other persons by the devotees of God. God will be merciful to us, and we shall be blessed by the gift of devotion to His divine feet, the very day that we are delivered from the evil desire of seeking advantages and honors from others. A person is relieved from all ineligibilities by being imparted fitness for the service of God. Women, Shudras, and the rest look condemnable and contemptible in the eyes of the world for their evil deeds. Even such persons are unable to attain the eternal good by noting the model disposition of the devotees of God, who honor all persons without requiring to be honored, and by following their conduct and teaching. Let us remember the text already quoted. There are those who worship God, but do not worship His devotees. Verily, such persons are arrogant sinners. They are not worshippers of God. If we become arrogant after having adopted the path of devotion, if we worship only God and disregard the worship of His devotees, we would be put to manifold difficulties for our offense at the feet of the servants of God. We would be overtaken by the greatest of all misfortunes by being afflicted with apathy for the principle of devotion itself. Human life is meant solely for the attainment of the supreme good. Why do I forget it? Why do I forget that I am the meanest and least of all entities? The ambition to lord it over others, to be great, to be an elevationist or salvationist is brought about when we allow ourselves to fall victims of the temptations of the deluding energy of God. Such ambition is petty and useless. If there is any use in curbing one's hankering after becoming great in the eyes of the world, if there is any use in gaining one's real health, it is imperative to accept the line of the thought of the Vaishnavas. Those who are fit possess abundant power of devotion. They are strong. I should not apply myself to find out the shortcomings of the Vaishnavas, or to condemn the service of Lord Vishnu, or to seek to establish my own point of view by neglecting the method by which I may be unable to serve the Lord and His devotees. No language that can describe the havoc that is wrought in human life by such arrogance. I make this submission with all humility. May you kindly refrain from merely imitating the conduct of the Vaishnavas. May you always follow their line of thought. There is no relationship for us other than with the devotees of Vishnu. Relationship with other persons can only aggravate the desire for sensuous gratification. Many a year has now passed over me, one by one. I, at last, realize that there is no other help for me than the mercy of the holy feet of the Vaishnavas. Every one of my acts is fit to be attacked. I pray to those who look down upon me that if they consider that it is allowable for me to follow the conduct and the teachings of the Vaishnavas, they would no longer maintain that attitude. They will kindly impart to me the needful strength and fitness to communicate their power to those who are stupid and ignorant and devoid of all strength. One who serves Lord Hari counts himself as the least of all entities. One is lifted to the highest order of the Vaishnavas when one can feel himself the least of all. One can then proclaim out the message of the highest devotion to Lord Hari. The best of all persons deems himself to be less than all others. Such is the great dictum. It is necessary for the best to scrutinize one's ineligibility. Why should a person be anxious to pry into the defects of others when he does not seek to scrutinize his own conduct? Is this the disposition of the Vaishnava? On the other hand, even those who are low in the scale of service may attain the higher level. Let us remember the text. Not to speak of persons who listen to and remember with care the instruction of the spiritual scriptures, even those who live by sin, women, shudras, hunas, savaras, and the birds of the air, can know God and prevail over his deluding power if they follow the conduct of the devoted servants of the Lord, who covers all the worlds by his wonderful strides. The acts and expressions of the Vaishnavas cannot be understood even by the wise. The devotees are attached to the Lord, who pervades the worlds with his wonderful strides. Let us not be misled by the apparent sight. Many a person has been liable to mistake the pebble for the pearl, the snake for the rope, evil for good, by falling a victim to delusion, by relying on apparent sight. It is only when a person allows himself to fall into the clutches of self-delusion that one's senses show their eagerness for supplying the wants incidental to the phenomenal world by supposing himself to be an inhabitant of the same. We should consider well how we are to be delivered from being thus exploited by the deluding energy. It will never bring us relief if we adopt the lordly mentality for supplying our present inadequacies and for avoiding what certain hasty observers have been pleased to dub as the slave mentality of the devotees of God. Such modes of thinking accelerate our march towards the inferno by plunging us into the course of sensuous indulgences. So, it is such a wonderful address by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, so powerful, not only in the language, but also in the ideas expressed, that we cannot forget such expressions of the Vaishnava philosophy by such empowered ray of Vishnu. So I would end here. Also, there's so much more to be said, but maybe later on in the morning we may speak little more, and I will end here this lecture. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So, on the occasion of disappearance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we have a festival in the Dwarkapuri Hall. So it starts at 10:30 with the kirtan, followed by bhajans, and then 11:30 there will be a class by His Grace Madan Kumar Prabhu, and 12:30 there will be Pushpanjali and Aarti. Hare Krishna. So all devotees can join at 10:30.